A new text to 911 system is making it even easier for all of our residents to stay safe. Please watch.
This segment, we're going to be talking about the planned texting to 911 system. We got a great guest with us, a lieutenant from the Riverside Police Department, Lieutenant Melissa Bartholomew. You oversee the dispatch center, correct?
Yes, it's the Public Safety Communication Center for the City of Riverside. We cover police, fire, and currently Riverside Community College Police.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate it because this is going to be a cool project, I think.
Thank you for inviting me.
And why are we doing this project? Because we have an incredible cohort or group of Californians here that happen to be deaf. And they're here because of the California School for the Deaf in Riverside. There's only 2 schools of the deaf in the entire state, Fremont up north and Riverside down south. And so we have maybe the largest in terms of per capita population in Riverside. And the deaf community is very active and very supportive and involved in the life of the city. So obviously this program is going to mean a lot to the deaf community. How did it come about?
Early last year, we decided we wanted to do more as we became aware of the technology to ensure that we had communication with the deaf community. Text to 911, because we now have like I said, the technology to be able to do this. So we went ahead, contacted our service providers to ensure that we could get it added to us. Call centers can request it. Once they do that, the wireless service providers have to have it, deploy it in our area within 6 months. So once we got that up and done and tested, then we're able to start deploying it.
But we have good partners in the telecom community that's helping us facilitate this.
Absolutely, they got it done and enabled us to get our testing done and approved.
And with such a large deaf community here in Riverside, as the mayor mentioned, partially because of the California School for the Deaf here, this is such an important thing because it's a large population of residents here in Riverside that now are going to have an easier time and a less stressful time contacting 911 for emergency services, right? It's going to be a lot easier for them.
I don't know about a lot easier. We currently have the TTY and the video relay service, so they have excellent means of communicating with us currently. What it does is add another avenue of communication. So if they're out and about and they don't have everything available to them, they can use the text to 911 in an emergency. It's not just for the deaf community. It's also for those people that find themselves in an extreme circumstance where it's just not safe for them to actually talk on a phone. So
explain that further in terms of the current state. How would a deaf person call 911 currently before the program takes full effect?
Back in the old days, you would use your TTY machine. I may have the numbers. It may be a TDY machine where they would punch in. It would ring through to a modem. It would ring up. We'd have to put a phone on the modem, and then this little piece of paper would pop up with the.
Remember those the little suction cups?
Yeah, that would give us the questions, and you'd have to type your answer in, and then with a GA for go ahead. Now we have the technology so that it's just automatically on our screens when we receive the calls. We don't have to worry about the little modem, and it's working in
the digital world,
figuring out who's calling us.
Yeah. So
conveniently, right now, their calls come into all our 911 operators the same as any other phone call. Okay. We also have the video relay service so that if they enables them to talk to somebody that can then relay their conversation to us. Mm-hmm. So through a second party.
And this is one of the cool things about technology moving so fast is that we are getting the technology that not only puts, amazing devices in our pockets or on our desktops, but also that improves our lives. But it comes with other aspects, right? So I'm curious, I guess I'm curious about 2 things. Why isn't this, or is this, the norm across the United States? And how does this affect your department from a training point of view?
As technology's increased and as wireless technology itself has improved over the years, they've been able to start implementing the text to 911 system. Not every area across the country currently has that capability. As the wireless systems improve and upgrade, I'm sure that will start to become the norm. And it may just be maybe the communication centers aren't as aware of the possibility of having that system implemented. And it does require you have to have the technology in your center to be
And
able
the
to
funds.
do that, and the funds.
What about training for staff? So does a dispatch center have to go through some additional training because of this?
I've found that most of my people are very good at texting already.
Yeah.
And essentially is they're texting
Without looking?
They're basically getting we have phones that are that currently sit on our current we have two dispatchers at all times that have a phone at their station. So if they get a text call, it comes in on that phone. Once we upgrade our 911 system, which should be occurring within the next year, that will allow us, it'll come across our screens just like the normal things.
So when is this tech system going to be operational?
We're actually operational now.
Nice. Great answer.
So
Now.
Yeah.
we're trying.
Test it out. Well, maybe not. Should we?
Yeah,
Is that a curse?
we
Yeah.
can test it out. There are some limitations to the system that I think is important for everyone to know, in that you can't, if you don't have a service contract with a wireless provider, it's not available to you. So if
Okay.
you're
Yeah, that's
doing
good to know.
Cricket or pay as you go, you're not going to have the text to 911 system. If you're on a roaming system, you're not going to be able to utilize the text to 911.
So those are actually important
Yeah.
Those are very important for people
restrictions.
to be aware.
It can't be month to month. It has to be a contracted service provider.
That's my understanding right now.
Okay. All right. And then what was the other one that you just mentioned?
You-
Roaming. So it also
yeah.
doesn't work with
Yeah,
roaming.
if you're on roaming service, it will not be available. And then it also you obviously have to have a phone that enables text to start with. And right now, everything, it has to be in English. We don't currently have the capability to translate from the Spanish. I have a few dispatchers that are Spanish speaking, so they're able to do that, but it's not a consistent, and I can't guarantee that would be there. So most centers are still, across the country, are still English only.
But this is going to bring it's going to bring a great service to the deaf community. But with the fact that, like all technology, right, there are limitations to what can be done. How do, obviously this show being one of them, how are you planning on getting the word out to the deaf community?
Obviously, press release. We're trying to been in touch with some of the folks that are members of the mayor's
Model deaf community.
model deaf community. Also coming on the show to talk about it, and reaching out to the California School for the Deaf and other of the agencies within the area that cater to the community.
So you can find out more information about this by calling 311, or is there anything on the police department's website that they can go to find more information on this?
There's not currently on the website. They can contact me. If you go to our website, go to the communication center, there's a link. You can email me, or you can call my number, which is 951-353-7272.
We so much appreciate you, Lieutenant Bartholomew, if you're coming down, sharing this with
Yeah.
the deaf community and the community as a whole, because like you say, it's not just for the deaf community, but it will benefit them greatly. Thank you so much.
And this is how you do it in the deaf community when you celebrate.
There we go. Mr. Mayor, as always, thank you. We've got 4 segments this month. Make sure you check out each and every one.
That's right.